In the quiet hush of the late evening, as the world slows and the gentle hum of appliances fills the kitchen, you stand before the open fridge, its light illuminating a familiar landscape of leftovers, condiments, and carefully chosen groceries. You wonder, with a pang of worry, whether the meals you prepare for your aging parents truly nurture them, or whether, despite your best intentions, you might be missing what matters most. This moment of reflection is more common than you think. As our loved ones age, the question of how best to support their health becomes more urgent, yet the answers seem tangled in a web of conflicting advice, glossy magazine headlines, and well-meaning but impersonal prescriptions. But the truth, I discovered, is both simpler and more profound than most realize. Begin not with a list of forbidden foods or a chart of daily allowances, but with a conversation. Sit across from your parents at the kitchen table, a pot of tea between you, and ask them to tell you about their favorite meals from the past. Watch as their faces soften, their eyes brighten, and memories spill forth, stories of their mothers' simmering soups, the golden crusts of bread fresh from the oven, the scent of herbs drifting through a childhood kitchen. These recollections are more than nostalgia. They are the foundation of well-being. Food, after all, is memory made edible. When you root your meal planning in their stories, you honor not only their physical needs, but their emotional history, which is every bit as vital to their health. As you listen, resist the urge to judge or dismiss. The comfort foods they recall, perhaps a creamy rice pudding, a hearty stew, or a simple bowl of porridge, hold the secret to crafting meals that are both nourishing and comforting. The goal is not to erase these dishes, but to gently adapt them. Look at each beloved recipe as a template. Where once there was heavy cream, consider a swirl of probiotic-rich yogurt or a splash of nut milk. Where salt reigned, invite new flavors with fresh herbs like thyme, dill, and basil, which can awaken the senses without burdening the heart or kidneys. If frying was the norm, explore roasting or steaming, techniques that coax sweetness from vegetables and tenderness from proteins without excess oil. But adaptation is not just about substitution, it's about celebration. Find joy in the abundance of foods that suit their changing bodies. Older adults often require more protein to maintain muscle mass and strength, yet may struggle with tough meats or fibrous textures. Offer them soft, flaky fish poached with lemon and dill, creamy lentil curries, or tofu sautéed with ginger and garlic until golden. Each bite should be easy to chew and gentle on digestion. Add colorful vegetables, roasted carrots, sautéed spinach, jewel-like beets, because a vibrant plate invites appetite and delivers essential fiber for gut health. The gut, often overlooked, is a hub of immunity and mood regulation, so a happy digestive system is the first step to a brighter, more energetic day. Hydration, too, is critical. As we age, the sense of thirst diminishes, even as the need for fluids increases. Encourage water-rich foods, juicy oranges, crisp cucumbers, succulent melons, and keep a pitcher of infused water on the table, flavored with citrus slices or fresh mint. Herbal teas are soothing and hydrating, offering warmth in the evenings and comfort to the soul. Do not fear the sweetness of ripe fruit. While added sugars should be limited, the natural sugars in berries, peaches, and apples come packaged with fiber and antioxidants that support brain and heart health. Serve fruit as a dessert, perhaps stewed with a sprinkle of cinnamon, or tossed with a dollop of yogurt and a handful of crushed nuts for texture. As you plan, remember that aging bodies process nutrients differently. Vitamin B12, calcium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids become particularly important. Find B12 in fortified cereals or animal products, calcium in leafy greens and dairy, vitamin D in sunshine and fortified foods, and omega-3s in fatty fish or flaxseed oil. If your parents have dietary restrictions, consult with a nutritionist about supplements, but always seek to provide as much nourishment as possible from whole foods. Just as important as the food itself is the way it is served. The act of eating is social, sensory, and emotional. Set the table with care, a cloth napkin, a favorite mug, a vase of fresh flowers. Share meals together whenever possible, even if only for a few minutes. The laughter, conversation, and ritual of mealtime can turn even a simple supper into a celebration. Loneliness is a hidden drain on health in older age, and the warmth of family can be as restorative as any vitamin. Finally, approach this journey not as a chore, but as an act of love. There will be days when your parents resist new dishes, when old habits assert themselves, when convenience or fatigue tempts you toward processed foods. Be gentle with them and with yourself. Change is not made overnight. Each small step, a new vegetable enjoyed, a recipe lightened, a shared meal savored, is a victory. In the end, the healthiest meal plan for your aging parents is one that balances their physical requirements with their emotional needs, drawing on the foods and rituals that have sustained them across a lifetime. It is a plan rooted in respect for their stories, adapted with care for their bodies, and served with the love that only family can provide. So the next time you find yourself in the kitchen late at night, let go of the anxiety that you must get everything right. Instead, remember that nourishment is not just about nutrients, but about connection, memory, and joy. Begin with their favorite flavors, build in the colors and textures their bodies crave, and offer it all with a generous helping of patience and affection. In doing so, you will feed not just their bodies, but their hearts and your own. Respecting the changing appetites of our aging loved ones is not only a matter of nutrition, it is an act of deep empathy and understanding. As the years pass, our parents' bodies transform, and so too do their needs and desires. The third pillar of supporting them well lies in recognizing that the standard 3-meal structure so often promoted may not serve them anymore. Instead, imagine a gentle rhythm of nourishment, 5 to 6 smaller, beautifully presented portions throughout the day, each one an invitation to enjoy and to thrive. Picture the day beginning quietly. The sun rises, painting soft light across the kitchen, and your father sits down to a small bowl of oatmeal, creamy and warm, topped with chia seeds and a handful of fresh blueberries. This is not a heavy breakfast, but a gentle start, easy on his digestion, yet full of fiber and antioxidants. Later, as the morning unfolds, your mother enjoys a steaming mug of bone broth, its richness offering comfort and hydration, supporting her joints and her spirit. Together, they share a midday meal, perhaps grilled salmon, flaking gently at the touch of a fork, resting alongside a quinoa salad that glistens with olive oil, bright with lemon zest, and scattered with herbs from the garden. Throughout the afternoon, the nourishment continues, never overwhelming, always inviting. Maybe a slice of avocado toast, creamy and lush on whole grain bread, or a bowl of sweet potatoes steamed until tender and dusted with cinnamon, a subtle nod to the flavors of their youth. And as the evening settles in, there is a ritual. Chamomile tea, steaming softly, poured into delicate cups, each paired with a few almond-stuffed dates. These moments are not just about calories or nutrients. They are about honoring the changing rhythms of life, balancing blood sugar and weaving gentle joy into every day. But food alone is not enough. The fourth pillar is hydration, often overlooked and yet so critical. Dehydration can sap vitality, muddle thinking, and even hasten decline. It creeps in quietly, especially among those who may not feel thirst as acutely as they once did. Encourage your loved ones to sip water throughout the day, but remember, hydration can come from food too. Serve crisp cucumber slices speckled with mint, offer watermelon cubes chilled to perfection, ladle out bowls of clear vegetable broth, each spoonful a small act of restoration. Here is where so many well-intentioned meal plans falter. They reduce meals to mere fuel, a transaction rather than a ritual. To truly nourish, we must elevate the act of eating into a celebration of connection. Set a table, even if it is a simple one. Lay out cloth napkins. Place a small vase of fresh flowers. Let sunlight or candlelight dance across the dishes. Share these meals with your parents, even if only for a short while. The emotional nourishment of companionship is profound, far surpassing any so-called superfood. Studies have shown that elderly individuals who eat in good company experience lower rates of depression and malnutrition. The laughter, the stories, the simple act of being seen, these are the true superfoods. And there is another, often overlooked, source of nourishment: engagement. Involve your parents in the creation of their meals. Even the smallest tasks can spark purpose and pride. Watch your mother's face light up as she sprinkles her favorite cumin over roasted carrots, or your father's hands steady as he folds fresh spinach into scrambled eggs. These actions may seem simple, but they restore agency, dignity, and the feeling that one is still an active participant in life, not merely a recipient of care. As you craft your approach, remember that variety will always serve better than perfection. Rotate seasonal produce, bring home treasures from the farmer's market, and explore spices from around the world. Coriander, turmeric, dill, za'atar, each one a new note to awaken dulled taste buds. Allow for small, joyful indulgences. If your father still delights in a slice of warm apple pie, serve it with open-heartedness, understanding that happiness is as nourishing as any vitamin or mineral. Tomorrow, as you stand in your kitchen, I invite you to see this daily ritual anew. You are not simply preparing food, you are sculpting memories. You are restoring dignity, extending the beautiful narrative of your parents' lives with every thoughtful choice. The meal you place before them is more than sustenance. It is an offering of love, a tangible expression of your gratitude for all the years they have cared for you. Each day, let the act of feeding become a dialogue, not a duty. Pay attention to their feedback, the foods they crave, the dishes they leave unfinished. Adjust with flexibility and compassion. Some days will be easier than others, but every effort is a thread in the tapestry of your shared life. Even a 10-minute meal, enjoyed together at a table set with care, can become a cherished memory. If your parents are able, invite them into the process. Let them choose a fruit at the market, stir a pot, taste a sauce, or simply sit beside you as you work. Remind them, and yourself, that they are not defined by age or frailty, but by the wisdom, humor, and love they continue to bring into your life. In the end, it is not the perfection of your meal plan that will matter most, but the intention behind it. Each thoughtfully prepared dish, every shared moment, every burst of laughter, or quiet sigh of contentment, builds a legacy of care and connection. Through mindful nourishment, you are not just sustaining their bodies, you are feeding their souls. And as you see them smile after a meal well shared, you will understand This was never just about food. It was, and always will be, about love on a plate. So take a deep breath, gather your ingredients, and know that tomorrow you have the power to create not only a meal, but a memory, a lasting gift of comfort, dignity, and joy.